I hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
And the car restarts up to go. Green flag is out. Underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
A little over a week remains until the playoffs begin for the Lincoln Tech fall season, and we bring Week 9 to a close with the Invets Xfinity Series right here, right now, on V-Speed. As always, we have to give a big thank you to our sponsors for making this possible. Invets, building strong futures for Indiana veterans. Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work. And Save 22, struggling? Let's talk. For everyone here at V-Speed, I'm Jacob Lanke. Here alongside me is Ken Huber. We got Eddie Smith in the production booth and the talented Dougie Beard providing tonight's cameras.
What an awesome season so far there, Jacob. We're in the later stages of this racing, and it's sure been exciting during this series. And no shortage of winners. We've got somebody that's been hot on the trail the last couple of races.
Yes, indeed. Wesley Burke pulling out back-to-back wins, most recently at Pocono after a little bit of a controversial finish, but we'll see how they shape out here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of my favorite tracks here at Dover. It's going to be cool. Lots of grip here. And looking at track info here, but it should be quite an exciting race.
Yes, indeed. When it comes to going fast on a concrete track, there's nowhere better to be than the Dover Motor Speedway. With 24 degrees of banking and the turns tapering off the 9 degrees on the straightaways of this 1-mile traditional oval, you'll have to find your rhythm, ride your line, and hit your marks all night if you want to take down the Monster Mile.
Yeah, speaking of hitting your rhythms, you got to be really careful here with this track. Wearing out your tires, you get into the corners really hard, you end up wearing out that right front. And vice versa, if you run a lot of brake bys and stuff, you can end up getting pretty loose off the corners. But for the guys that can manage the tires, if we have long green runs, the guys that can manage their tires the best are going to be the ones that are running out front.
Yes, indeed. And as we're on the topic of Dover, this is the second to last race in the regular season, and that's going to line up directly into our finale, or regular season finale at Las Vegas. And after that, all bets are off. The playoffs are going to be set, and let's take a look at our point standings for the night.
No surprise there with Jonathan Cofield up front there with 3 wins, and McWhorter following a close second. But Jacob, there is a battle shaping up there just to get into the chase.
Yes, indeed. Last man in right now is George Jewell. He's got 10 points over Tyler Rice in the 0-6. Had a little bit of an issue on the green flag cycle last week that put him out early, but Jewel is going to look forward to trying to hold it off this week.
Yeah, a couple guys trailing on the edge there. Tyler Rice looking back there at 13th. Outsider looking in. Frederick Seagraves is locked in with that win at Daytona, the first race of the season. So he's locked in. Tyler Rice is trying to race his way into this chase as well. Like you said, just one race to go. Let's take a look at our race analysis here at Dover. We have about 110 laps, not about, officially 110 laps here at the Monster Mile. Pit road speed will be 35 miles an hour. If we do have green flag stops, getting onto pit lane will be super tricky. 4 sets of tires available to them, 2 green-white checker attempts. They'll have 100% fuel with an iRacing fix set up here tonight.
In 110 laps. That's 110 miles. Fuel is going to be, it's not going to be as big a concern. The thing is going to be tires when you get down to it. We have a few people on cams tonight. Taking a look at our, like I mentioned, the last man in on points. George Jewell, Charles Abert showing off. Chuck Feltz showing the guns tonight as well. Wyatt Dooling once again, and then Daniel Parks casually showing his right shoulder there.
I notice Prince isn't in there with the zebra robe tonight, so we're missing that driver. I believe that was Samuel Yosef last week that was quite entertaining there on the driver cam.
That was Devontae Drain, and it's no longer
mistake.
Halloween season. We're getting toward Thanksgiving.
That's right. So did some practice here earlier tonight, and it looks like these guys can go about 75, 80 laps on that 100% of fuel, so there'll be at least one stop, but they'll be screaming for tires after about 50. Well, before that, probably about 40 laps, they'll be screaming for tires.
Yep, and throughout the rest of the seasons throughout the rest of the series that we've run here, from what we have seen in the R series in particular, this place didn't give us a lot of cautions. I want to say it had an average about 3 for both the East and West, so it'll be curious to see what happens with this one in particular.
Yeah, it will be. And this is known for being a self-cleaning track, so single spins usually spin down to the inside as long as they don't collect up a bunch of drivers. That won't always bring out a caution, so we'll have to wait and see how that all shakes out.
Yes, indeed. Well, we've had a few different winners this season, getting toward the end of qualifying right here. Let's make our predictions early, Ken. Who you got?
Well, last week I picked Bontrager, and I kind of really want to pick him again because I'm kind of rooting for him. You know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see if Bontrager can get it done tonight.
Bontrager is a very deserving driver. He's just hunting for that one win. My pick is going to be probably the no-brainer. 2 wins in a row. I'm going to have him go for a third. Wesley Burke in the 0-4.
Oh, yeah. That's a good choice for sure. Wesley Burke, we'll see where he qualifies out tonight, but it looks like we're getting ready to grid these cars up.
Yes, indeed. And the recipient of our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award goes to a new name we haven't talked about too often. Peyton Howell with a 22.91 rolling off in P1. Joseph McWhorter, one of the forces in this series, rolling off in second. Mark Whitley rolls off third, a name we don't really... a name we have to... he has no introduction. Wesley Burke in fourth. Craig Bontrager rolls off P5. Stephen Davis and the 0-9 and 6th. Brandon Wallace rolls off P7. Kyle Deering in 8th. Barrett Morton in the 9 rolls off in P9. And Judson Curtis in the 29 rounds out your top 10.
Duncan Fall will start on the inside in the 11th position with Jonathan Cofield on his outside. In the 13th position will be Logan Sturgeon. And on his outside will be George Jewell. Starting in the 15th position will be Tyler Rice, with Lucas Lyons on his outside in 16th. Charles Abert will start on the inside in 17th, with Brock Price in 18th on his outside. Chuck Feltz will start on the inside in 19th, and Daniel Parks will round out your top 20.
Darren Price rolls off 21st. Casey Jones in 22nd. Kevin Calkins takes the 23rd spot. Cody Turner in the 57 rolls off 24th. Wyatt Dooling in the 51, 25th. Dave Calbert in the 26th position. Jamie Libke in 27th. Armando Melgoza rolls off 28th. Colton Sisk in 29th. Kevin Price in 30th. Claire Sisk in the 12 is going to roll off 31st. Stefan Purcell rolls off 32nd. Aaron Yancey and Gary Wright round out your 34-car field.
Well, we've had a fairly clean season, Jacob, and I'm kind of hoping that for tonight. We actually seen some green flag stops on a couple of races. These guys are rolling off pit lane now. As you mentioned at the top there, that this track in the league has been fairly clean, low caution count. Hoping we're going to see that tonight, and a lot of good hard racing. And we'll see how my pick of Craig Bontrager as he rolls by on the camera there, how he does tonight.
Yeah, this one might start messing people up, because if we do go green for too long, we have the potential for that long. You said we got about 80 laps of fuel. I think people are going to want to come in for tires before then just to top off. But if you do take that early shot into the pit lane, it could mess you up with such a small track.
Yeah, that's the strategy for that pit stop. If we do it under green, is going to be absolutely crucial. Most guys will want to pit at the halfway mark, but I'll let you take the race. Pace car's headed in the pit lane.
Pace car into the pit lane, and we are rolling, getting ready to go green flag at Dover.
And the cars are away side by side. Our two leaders, Peyton Howell, Joseph McWhorter, going down there. It looks like Peyton Howell's got the advantage going down on the inside. McWhorter will tuck in right behind.
McWhorter tucking in right behind him on the bottom line there. The 04 still keeping the outside over the 77 of Mark Whitley as they round down into turn 3.
Yeah, exciting. 04 cutting down in front of the 77 of Mark Whitley. So Wesley Burke up a position from where he started. Wesley Burke now on the outside, trying to get up to that second spot right now. Took a look on the outside of the 72, Joseph McWhorter, and will back off. He might fall victim back to that 77 there.
Got a little loose on the exit of the corner. They're still trying to roll that middle line to get momentum on the 72. 05 still out in front by half a car length.
You can see he's trying to get the momentum on the exit there, running up on that high line. I don't know what that's going to do for his tires, but we got to pass for the lead right now. Got Joseph McWhorter going by Peyton Howell and taking that top spot away from him.
Yep, because Howell had the 04 dive down to the inside. He wasn't able to get that run back on the 72. McWhorter to the lead, Burke in second. Whitley now going by the 05 for third.
Yeah, Burke got into the side of Howell. That shoved him up the track, and Howell ended up losing another position there. So Howell currently running back there in fourth in the 77 behind his teammate. Mark Whitley is right behind McWhorter right now.
Yep, Wesley Burke to the point underneath the 72 of McWhorter. 72 and 77 right next to each other on track is not a recipe for a good time.
Now Wesley Burke there is starting to stretch out that lead, but I have some concerns about what he's doing there. We're watching the leader pull away just a little bit. It's got about 5 or 6 car lengths on our second place driver, but he is really ripping up that car right now. So you got to wonder if he's even trying to manage tires. And that's part of the strategy I was trying to talk about right before we took the green flag is how you're going to want to run these tires and where you're going to come on the pit lane. And maybe Wesley is thinking that there's going to be cautions. And so why not run this car super hard? We got another battle unfolding here.
Maybe going to have one. Burke ended up clapping the wall on exit there as we're watching the 05 of Howell fighting with that's the 09 of Stephen Davis, who just got passed for the fourth spot.
Yeah, it was a good move there by Stephen Davis getting by there. Bontrager down a spot over that. You can see Bontrager just behind him there, under pressure right now with the 50 car of Kyle Deering.
Yep, 50 of Deering holding position. Brandon Wallace right behind these guys. These guys are chasing down Bontrager for the 6th spot as we are almost 10 laps in on this run.
Yeah, time flies here at Dover. This is like just a big Bristol. So 22nd lap times, if we stay green, this race will go pretty quick. We're still watching the 50 car Kyle Deering get around this place. Very smooth and consistent there. All the drivers pretty much single file right now, trying to feel each other out. Our leader, Wesley Burke, now has opened up about 0.8 of a second, 0.9 of a second over second place of Joseph McWhorter.
Now on board with the clownfish machine of Kyle Deering as we watch Bontrager make a couple of contacts with the wall. Deering rolling a little bit of a lower line, trying to get some more roll off of the corner than Bontrager. Bontrager is able to keep it ahead. He's about a car length ahead of that 7th spot.
Yeah, it's one of the secrets of driving here at Dover, trying to put pressure on those rear tires and not scrub off that right front. And you'll see some of those drivers do it. Just get into the corner, get the car settled in mid corner, and just let the car rotate off and do your best not to push that right front tire.
Brandon Wallace trying to get to the back bumper of the 50. It looks like he's going to make a move to the outside here, rolls the corner, pushes it up top, and he's going to carry that momentum all the way back down the front stretch.
Yeah, couldn't get it done there. Might take a peek down on the inside there. Brandon Wallace went high and trying to dive down, trying to get momentum off the corner by bringing the car down. You see if he tried to gear here on the back stretch, and it looks like he might get side by side. He might have got loose there a little bit. Couldn't get the momentum off the corner.
And he ended up checking up, and that might bring Duncan Fawn, the 61, into this battle as well.
All still single file here. But like I said, these guys are feeling each other out as the laps are really ticking off here. So we are lap 12 into a 110 lap race. So this thing is really getting wild.
Yep, already 10% of this race in, and a lot of what I've seen so far that might cause a little bit of an issue is wall contact, especially on the exits of turns 2 and 4. We've seen people clap the wall. We've seen the leader clap the wall as we're looking at a battle for the 28th position. Gary Wright is currently holding that position right there. We got Darren Price holding the 29th over Kevin Price, who's looking to the outside in the 80.
Yeah, there's battles all over the track here. We're looking back towards the rear end of this field here. This 3-car battle going on right now. You can see the putting pressure there. You can see the 18-foot pressure on that car. Just hit, oh, another car in the wall there.
That was Gary Wright in the 44. That might open something up for the 68 to go to the inside, trying to get to that 16 of Jamie Libke up front. Wright makes the exit. He keeps it to the outside. Darren Price is going to make the charge down to turn 1.
Yeah, and you see just cleared there, and Jacob Limke hanging back there in the back. 80-car Kevin Price, that blue machine, trying to get back up to Gary Wright here, but it looks like he's falling back just a slat as they a little bit as they get that battle sorted out. But it looks like Jacob Limke coming up right now.
I'm right here. Gary Wright might have some damage to that right front, as it looks like the 80 is going to get bypassed on the inside by Colton Sisk. It looked as though that was what was going to happen on the front stretch, but I think Sisk might have got loose on entry.
Yeah, and you see him back up here as we got another battle shaping up right up front here.
Jonathan Cofield is making a charge up the field right now as he is underneath the 99. Yep, we're back to a battle with the lead. Wesley Burke under fire from the 72 of Joseph McWhorter. Burke is slow. He might be trying to wrap it back around on the bottom. Nothing doing, and he's under fire from Whitley now as well.
Yeah, I think this is a product of him running really hard at the start of the race now. He's probably got those tires really heated up, wore some rubber off there. He's going to have a hard time fending off Whitley, and Whitley goes down to the inside there, and he's going to make this pass pretty easily at this point.
Yep, and I think these two don't want to be anywhere near each other after the ending of Pocono, and I think Whitley might not want that 0-4 behind him even more.
Well, we'll see what happens with Wesley over time here. Wesley Burke, you can see him in the 0-4 car. He's now got Stephen Davis creeping up in the 0-9, so we'll see how much he can hang on to it, but I have a feeling that he's already screaming for tires.
Yep, all 4 of these cars underneath a second blanket. Powell, our pole sitter, 2.5 seconds back, and it looks like the 0-9 makes a move to the inside of Wesley Burke. Burke might have just heated himself up a little too much on that first one.
I believe so, and Stephen Davis will complete that pass easily, and maybe Wesley Burke can fall in line here and cool those tires down and maybe make another charge, but it's going to be hard as we look further back to the field with another battle. That's the 9-car Barrett Morton on the inside there. Logan Sturgeon trying to get that position. See side by side as they come down the straightaway here. No advantage to either driver. The 9 was still down on the inside. See if he can get it done going into this next corner.
9's got the initial momentum entering the corner. Logan rolling the top above the 9, trying to keep it to the outside. As soon as he dives into turn 3 here, I think the 9 might have it on exit.
I don't know. It looks like Logan Sturgeon is fighting pretty hard for that position. Still on the outside, got some momentum as they go down the front stretch, cross the line, still trying to hang on to that position. He's going to give it up here. I think those tires just got too hot and he had to fall in line.
Yep, Logan not able to switch it back on him. That leaves him under fire from Duncan Faw just behind. Logan Sturgeon trying to get back to the back bumper of the Barrett Morton machine.
Yeah, and not doing it just yet. I think those guys will settle in just ahead of him there. Big contact with the wall. One of those cars up there, seen him down on the apron, dive towards the apron, so I think there was some damage. I wasn't sure which car that was, but it was a hard slam.
I think that might have been the lap car of Claire Sisk, because we got Kyle Deering coming into the pits here. It looks like he might have some damage on that right front of his car. Yeah, he does. So he's probably going to come in, take his fast repair, get some fresh tires, top off, and try and take it all the way to the end here.
Yeah, that's going to be a tall order. He's going to have, looks like about 90 laps, a little less than that, 85 laps to get it done. Looking at the replay, see exactly what happened to him here. Car comes up, and looking at the front stretch, looks like, did we miss that? Looks like he might have had some net code or something there. Watching it here as he comes around to the backstretch, but yeah, tag the wall and getting that car fixed now. We got another slow car on the track.
That's Claire Sisk, one of the cars we saw on the front stretch earlier, backing it down, getting ready to get onto pit road, possibly to fix some damage here.
Yeah, I believe this was the car that I noticed that hit the wall. That was a replay, so I believe that was a car that slammed that wall that you were talking about, Jacob. Very easy to do here at Dover, and they didn't make it easier when they put the safer barrier in. The drivers lost another foot or two on this racetrack on exit, so it's very easier to tangle with that wall.
Yep, leaders fighting for position once again, getting around the lap car of Colton Sisk. Whitley taking a little bit higher line, trying to get back to the back bumper of the 72.
Yeah, and these two guys, a teammate, we've seen this story before, race after race, these two guys racing each other. They do race each other hard, but this is a common theme between these two drivers.
Watching Whitley curl it back down to the inside off of the exit of turn 2 there. Cashing all of that momentum in to make it to the inside, watching the 72 take it to the top, crossing over his nose, 77 to the point for the first time tonight.
Yep, so he'll lead this lap. So he was saving those tires. You can see Mark Whitley now starting to open up that gap a couple car lengths here, headed down the backstretch. And it looks like he saved his tires. And don't look now, but it looks like Stephen Davis might be entering this picture. Looks like he was saving too, and Stephen Davis starting to maybe going to look at Joseph McWhorter as a potential victim.
Well, Davis brushed the wall on exit of 4 there. He's been sitting here while those two have been fighting up front for the position, so he is going to be waiting for those two to make that mistake that we so often see between those two teammates.
And just behind him, our pole sitter, Peyton Howell, currently running in that 4th position. Fell back early in this, got passed by some pretty aggressive moves, had some contact with one of the drivers up there, and but currently running in 4th, and wonder what he's thinking. He was very fast out there, obviously, in qualifying, and wondering what his tires are looking like about now.
I can imagine he's probably been saving. We don't know a lot about this person. I personally haven't really seen his name come up in too many of the in the chats here. I believe they're a recent addition, but one thing's for certain, they're fast, and I think they might be saving.
I think you're right there, Jacob. It does look like he's closing down on Stephen Davis, that 9 car just ahead of him, so looks like he's slowly reeling him in, and this race is starting to have that green flag look that we've talked about. We're 30 laps in, so a third of the way into this race, caution free. We've had some wall strikes, but so far, these guys have kept it pretty clean.
Yep, everybody keeps it together. And one person that, we saw Howell fall back from the lead early on, but one person that just hasn't managed to get that bleeding to stop. The 04 of Wesley Burke has fallen all the way back down to the 8th position. Jonathan Cofield just got by, and they might be under fire from, Kyle Deering's got fresh tires. They're going to get by, and then they're going to have Barrett Morton to deal with.
Yeah, that's one of the disadvantages for running so hard early on in Dover. You really got to protect those tires, especially in the first 5 laps or so. If you drive as hard as he did, I mean, he opened up quite a lead at the beginning of this race, and then you see what that did for him. He's actually just slipping back, and he's going to be struggling to stay in the top 10 here in a moment.
Lets the 50 by on the fresher tires, and Barrett Morton is going to be fighting as hard as they can to get up to that back bumper. The 05 of Howell has almost reached the back bumper of Stephen Davis. Watching these two fight for position as we watch our leaders fight in the foreground.
Yeah, you mentioned it before, Stephen Davis making contact with the wall there. Wonder if he's got any slight bit of damage that's affecting the aero of that car, but you can see that Peyton Howell closing up big time as they go into 1. And it looks like Peyton Howell is going to take this position easily. It looks like the 09 lets him go.
Jumps in. Thank you very much. Stephen Davis once again making contact with the wall, dragging it like a parachute, and the 05 gets by without challenge.
Yeah, I think he wants to autograph that wall, each side of it. I see a car headed to pit lane just there. Then I'm not sure if pit stop, that was Justin Curtis, or we're looking at Justin Curtis in the 29 right now, trying to work on a position. It's currently your 7th place car.
Judson Curtis working on the back bumper of Jonathan Cofield. Cofield still holding on to that 6th place. He's started 12th, so he's made up 6 spots, and he's trying as hard as he can to get back up to the lead of this group, and wants to get back into his winning ways that he had so much from the start of the season.
Yeah, Cofield winning 3 races, the most races out of anybody in this series, although we do have quite a fair amount of spread for race winners. So, you know, especially with Wesley Burke bringing it the last 2 races, we're still watching Wesley Burke slip back. But Cofield moving forward, Wesley Burke going back. Oh, it looks like the 50 car just behind all that was slamming up against the wall, and he's a lap down, but it looks like he kept it straight, and we'll stay caution free. There we go. We're looking at it right now.
Deering has to be careful. Finger on the monkey paw is starting to curl a little bit. He's taken his fast repair from earlier. He's got those fresh tires on there, and he might be pushing a little too hard for what his car can handle.
Yeah, and he's going to be stuck out there if he can run this thing to get back on the lead lap. This is one of the things about Dover. If you pit early, you could go down 2 laps really easily here. So it's going to be interesting as we're approaching the halfway point here in another 20 laps or so. Who's going to take the risk to come onto pit lane, maybe go a couple laps down and hope that the caution doesn't come out? Because, you know, to get the best bang for the buck, you know, come in at lap 55, that's the halfway point. You're going to get the most wear out of your tires, but you've also got to be thinking about a caution coming out while you're doing that.
What you said before, you said we had about 80 laps. We're within that window now. We're about 10 laps into it, so I think we're going to see all manner of strategies try to play out here as we're watching Mark Whitley and Joseph McWhorter duke it out once again for this lead.
Yeah, I almost feel like these guys are just running in each other's tire tracks. I don't know. It doesn't look like they're racing each other that hard. And like I said, we've seen this before. Oh, and our leader just tags the wall. Mark Whitley having a little bit of a friendly encounter with the wall, though. No harm, no foul. But he's got to keep that 77 in check if he wants to bring this thing home at the end.
Yep, a little. He's just trying to reduce drag a little bit. He's removing the paint. Meanwhile, Craig Bontrager now under fire from the 53 of Jonathan Cofield. Bontrager scrapes the wall, and Cofield's starting to get a little bit of a run on the inside on the exit of turns 3 and 4.
Yeah, we know Cofield is strong, starting to put the pressure on as they cross the start-finish line here, going into 1. Look, trying to take a peek. Bontrager running a solid defensive line there. That's kind of a preferred line that Bontrager is running, but he might have a little bit less Goodyear on that tire compared to Cofield. Cofield wants to get his way back up front, make his way back into that top 5, and getting by Bontrager is the way to do it.
This is the battle for the 5th spot. These guys are 4.4 seconds behind the leader. Bontrager scraping the wall again on exit. But the biggest thing, everybody still has to pit. Nobody can make it to the end on this point right now. These guys want to make sure that they're not tearing it up too much before that happens.
As we ride along with Cofield, one of the things that I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the pit road speed here is 35 miles an hour. And it's one thing trying to figure out when you're going to pit, but the other thing is, as we watch Bontrager hit the wall, and it looks like Cofield going down to the inside, taking advantage of that, Bontrager's going to have to let him go. And I think Bontrager will know. Bontrager's going to fight on the outside. And Cofield will have to, Bontrager still got the momentum coming out of the corner there.
Gas it up, keep it on that top line, because you can wrap around and take that run all the way back to the outside. That's what he's doing. He claps the wall again, and I think that's all she wrote for this battle right here as Cofield gets to P5.
Yeah, as I was saying about that pit road entry at 35 miles an hour here at Dover, green flag stops. We haven't seen a lot of green flag stops this season, but this is definitely one of the more tricky tracks to get woed up. I imagine if we do have green flag stops, there's going to be a couple guys out there with some speeding on pit road penalties trying to get onto pit lane.
Yep, and I think lap traffic might be starting to make a little bit of an effect here as we got a caution on track. 45 laps into this run, Chuck Feltz, the 75, torn up on the backstretch.
Yeah,
I can imagine he's not too happy about that one.
Yeah, well, I mentioned it, and here it is. We have our first caution of the night, so I guess these guys won't have to worry about those green flag stops that I was talking about. We'll see what happened to Chuck here. It's like we're coming on 3 and 4 here, coming out of the corner here. Looks like he's got the 11 car just behind him. Oh. Yeah, I can't tell if the 11 car, that was Kevin Calkins of the 11 car. I'm not sure if they made contact there. Chuck was really slow, but not sure exactly what happened, if he just got loose. We're going to take another look here.
Calkins on 40-lap fresher tires, he went in to make his pit stop, and it looks like he is trying to make the best of that rubber. Chuck going down to the bottom, carrying his line, and
Oh, yeah.
Calkins just
the tire disparity right there. So Calkins being on those new tires, it just had so much more speed. It's hard to gauge, how slow Phelps was. As we're watching everybody come down to pit lane. Well, most everybody that on the lead lap anyway headed to pit lane to get 4 tires and fuel.
Yep, I'm curious to see what the call is going to be on this one. I would imagine everybody's going to take 4 tires. Everybody's going to fill up on fuel because you're going to be good to the end. But you want to be able to plan for what could come next. You take 4 now, or like you take 2, get that track position, hope for another caution here shortly, or within the next few laps if you think you can manage it, and then go from there on the later stop. How that number 1 pit stall is going to be a little bit. He's going to have a little bit of an advantage going forward.
Yeah, as we watch them all take 4 tires, and it looks like 77 beat everybody off pit lane, but it looks like maybe Peyton Howell got second. So Peyton Howell moved up a position. There you see there. So he got by McWhorter. So we did have a little bit of a race off pit lane between the top 3.
Yep. Howell with that pit stall from his pole from earlier, netting him the position over Joseph McWhorter. They were trying to. He was trying to pull McWhorter in while they were running in traffic, but Howell gets him on pit lane instead.
Yep. So, well, while we got a moment here and we're under caution, why don't we talk about one of our sponsors, Jacob? Let's talk about Invets. Invets aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their families to ensure success and happiness. They're a veteran nonprofit in Indiana with the goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. They are the title sponsor of many series here at Goat Locker Racing, and they've been with Goat Locker Racing, I think, since the beginning, and very happy to have them on board.
Yes, indeed. They're the title sponsor of the series we run here on Sundays, the Xfinity series, and no better partner to have for this show, and we're glad to put on a good one for them.
Well, the lights are out atop the pace car. We got Mark Whitley is going to lead him to the green flag. Peyton Howell will start on his outside, our pole sitter. Joseph McWhorter just behind in 77 on the inside. Jonathan Cofield on the outside. Jonathan Cofield has made his way up to the 4th position. Stephen Davis rounds out your top 5 as we're about to send him green flag racing.
Yes, indeed. Your pick, Craig Bontrager, sitting in that 6th spot. I think he might have a little bit of a run getting on the exit on top there, as he's got Jonathan Cofield going to make a hole right in front of them. Pace car getting ready to pull back down the pit lane. Whitley at the head of the field once again gets ready to bring him back to green. Going into the restart zone now, and away we go once again here at Dover. We got one more lap of yellow.
Yeah, I think we had an official extended the caution, so yeah, we got another lap. We'll re-rack and stack them. I think that the people weren't quite lined up, and this is a pretty small track, so the racing official noticed that people weren't quite lined up for that start and decided to throw an extra lap or 2.
Yep. Pace car going to go ahead and take the head of this field one more time. We should have about 1 lap left as the lights are off on the pace car. Everybody going to line back up 2 by 2, and we'll get this one re-racked for you.
So we'll have 60 laps to go when they take the green flag or so. So, these guys will be able to make it. It's going to be a struggle on tires. So we've seen a long green flag run there, almost 45 laps. So if these guys can run 60 laps of green flag, it's going to be who can best manage the tires for this next stint.
Yep, everybody's still working on getting it lined back up. We got a bunch of cars back there. I think what we're doing is trying to get everything sorted out with iRacing, because sometimes iRacing gets a little confused, and then people are trying to follow the instructions that they're given, but it involves other people being in the right spot. You can't know if you're in the right spot back there without other people being in their right spot, because it's telling you to pass somebody, it's telling you to let somebody by, and that person might be waiting on somebody else, and everybody is just trying to get everything taken care of back and sorted out once we get back, or so we can get back green.
Yeah, it's one of those deals, especially at these smaller tracks. You know, it's very easy to get things out of order, but I think we might have it all in order now. Our top 6 haven't changed, so all this action has been happening towards the rear of the field. We have pretty much only 23 cars on the lead lap, so I have a feeling that it was happening from 24th on back, trying to get those cars sorted out, and I think we do have it sorted out. So again, Mark Whitley is going to lead him to the green flag. I got my fingers crossed it's going to happen this time there, Jacob.
Yep, knock on wood, fingers crossed. Everything is back to where we need it to be. Pace car leading them down the backstretch into the entrance turn 3 right now.
And we'll see. I watched Peyton Howell there take a really high approach. I thought he was going to try to jump the start, but he's side by side right now, so I think that was because official. But the pace car is off and ducking into pit lane as we're about to go green flag race.
Yes, indeed. Mark Whitley getting ready to lead them back into the restart zone. Exit of turn 4. Into the zone now. Back going green at Dover.
Yeah, 77 of Mark Whitley gets that car cleared, and he's able to set sail right now. Looks like Joseph McWhorter going on the inside of Peyton Howell. We've seen this picture before. Peyton Howell being a little bit more patient on the start of these things, but I don't think he wants to give up as much time as he did last time.
Whitley, McWhorter, Howell, top 3 right now. Jonathan Cofield holding on to 4th. We got a battle further back. Justin Curtis to the inside of the 9 of Barrett Morton. Bontrager gets the wall again.
Yeah, Bontrager and that wall have been having an affair. The 29 and 9 just behind him, you got Barrett Morton.
Oh!
Yeah, it was big contact with the wall just behind him there. But it looks like Barrett Morton was able to clear that position. So Barrett Morton behind Bontrager.
Morton got loose, killed the wall, all 4 wheels up off the ground. As we get into, we're watching on board into turn 1 right now. Gets loose, it snaps back on him, and he obliterates the wall out of turn 2.
Yeah, a lot of damage on that Toyota. So he's going to be struggling. He's still out there on the track. So going to be struggling with that damage. You can see everybody trying to get around him.
He's going to have his fast repair on deck for that one, I'm sure, as he is still hemorrhaging spots right now. Logan Sturgeon got by. Now he's losing one to Tyler Rex.
Yeah, probably praying for a caution at this point because there's not a whole lot you can do. You got to stay out, try to stay on the lead lap, and pray for a caution so you can come in and get that thing. Oh, he just clipped the 36. So, well, so much for that. That was George Jewell involved with that. Just clipped the 36 car there, and we got cars behind him coming into the wall as well.
Kevin Price slammed the brakes trying to check up for that wreck and ate the inside wall on that one. You were just talking about Barrett Morton hoping for a caution, and we watch it happen in the worst way as he comes up. Yep. Clips the wall, comes back off. Jewell had a little bit of a high exit. Brock Price hits the inside wall there. 36 is going to be looking for his fast repair after that one as well.
Yeah, a big hit for Brock Price. I noticed that brown car, that MK Fire Designs car, just the hood up on that thing, lots of damage on that car. So a few cars are going to be using fast repairs during this one, I imagine. There you can see him coming down, Brock Price coming down pit lane with the hood up. That's actually awesome. I don't believe I've seen that in iRacing before. I've never seen that. So awesome physics that we got going. It caused him to miss his box on top of that. There you see the fast repair. So he did have that fast repair left, so he's able to get that machine fixed and get some tires on that thing and try it again.
Yep, and what's more, I think he's able to stay. He might be able to stay on the lead lap here if he's able to outrun the pace car on the exit of the pit lane here, and I think he is. So lucky break for him after this wreck.
Yeah, so lucky break for him, but or you could say it was unlucky too, because he had a pretty decent run going there. Just fell victim to that accident that we were following. Anyway, we're going to restack, re-rack here. Mark Whitley is going to lead him to the green flag. McWhorter in second, Peyton Howell in third, Stephen Davis in fourth, and Jonathan Cofield in the top 5.
Yes, indeed. As well, we're under pacing right now. Let's take a look at our current Warrior Spotlight. Here's to our latest Warrior Spotlight and 12 Sim Rig recipient, John Lawless. John served in the United States Air Force for 22 years as a hydraulic maintainer. He completed 5 deployments to Korea, Iraq, Sicily, and Turkey. Worked on multiple platforms like the U-2, HH-60G, and HC-130J. We're proud to have John as a member of the GLR family. And I can honestly say, like, he has been very active, not only in the chats, he's been very active in the, he's been making paint schemes, or either getting paint schemes made for him, and he's been putting a lot of love and respect to the sponsors that we have here at Goat Locker.
Yeah, I seen him out there making posters too for the racers. He did one for the Saturday night series, so we run the sports car series on Saturday night, and he made a nice little poster for that. And I believe he made a poster for tonight's race as well. That's out on Discord.
Yes, indeed, he had the G.I. Joe bar on that one. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's in the field tonight. The lights are currently off the pace car as we go right here. We're getting ready to get this back going once again.
So Stephen Davis on the 9 car, currently running in that 4th position. He's on the outside of Peyton Howell. Peyton Howell seems to be protecting those tires on the starts. We got 53 laps to go, 52 when we send him to green flag. So we'll see if he gives up some more positions. He's got also Jonathan Cofield, 3-time race winner here in this series, just behind him. So there's some hungry people around him. We'll have to wait and see how Peyton Howell drives, as he's new to this series, I believe, there, Jacob. So we haven't got a lot of experience watching him race, but so far so good.
Well, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, and you got 2 of the toughest competitors in Goat Locker lined up side by side on that front row. Mark Whitley once again getting ready to take him back to green as the pace car has pulled into the pit lane. Joseph McWhorter to his outside. He gets into the restart zone, and we are green once again at Dover.
Wow, that was kind of a terrible start for Joseph McWhorter. That allowed Peyton Howell to get on his inside. Peyton Howell is going to take back second. McWhorter was just slow off the line. I don't know if that was by design, but now you can see the 5 car of Peyton Howell actually trying to make an attempt for the lead.
Yep, Howell goes to the inside. Stephen Davis got a little bit checked up by the 72 as well, as we got a new contender in here with the 17 of Lucas Lyons up to 5th.
And we are back under caution. It looks like the 80. Something happened with Kevin Price. We'll have to look back at the replay. Currently running in 32nd. As we go back and take a look, see what happened to Kevin Price here.
He stayed out after that incident. He might have gotten a little bit of his damage fixed. He's pushing to the outside of the exit of the turn here onto the backstretch. And,
yeah, that was the 11 car.
That's Kevin Calkins for the 2nd time tonight, just taking a little too much into the entry of the corner. Or he took it on the exit last time with the 75, but he just takes it a little too much on the entry. And if you've got somebody ahead of you like that, you have to be able to back up your braking marker a little bit, because you're not going to be braking at the same spot. Darren Price in the 68 was slowing down ahead of him, and he just wasn't able to check up in time. But I think got to back up a little.
I think that was the major cause of that, is that car checking up in front of Price, and it's just by bad luck that Calkins, we find him again getting into the back of somebody. So, yeah, unfortunate. We're back under caution here. We'll have to re-rack and stack as we see that 11 car head to pit lane, get that damage fixed. So, again, cautions breed cautions, as they say. Well, while we're under caution again, I'm just taking a look and seeing if the leaders are going to head to pit lane. I don't think they are. That would be kind of dumb, and it looks like everybody's staying out. So why don't we talk about another one of our sponsors, Save 22. Save 22 is a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Their unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate. Save 22. Awesome having these guys. You know, it's awesome being in the booth with you, Jacob. We're both veterans, and you know, this is basically a veteran-run league. And you got your announcers, veterans. You got a lot of veterans out there on the track. A great escape opportunity for a lot of our first responders and veterans.
Yep. that's the name of the game. Save 22 is the title sponsor of the Friday Premier Truck Series, and they are a longtime friend of Goat Locker. So it is always worth giving them a shout out whenever we can.
Well, the lights again are out atop the pace car. Mark Whitley is going to lead him to the green flag. He'll be down there on the inside. He's taking the inside lane. Peyton Howell on his outside. Joseph McWhorter, now his teammate, will be starting behind Mark Whitley in third, with Jonathan Cofield out on the outside. Lucas Lyons, we haven't talked about him. He is going to start in that fifth position with Stephen Davis in sixth.
Yes, indeed. Having that new front row might give Jonathan Cofield a little bit of work, as we're taking a look at the 17 of Lucas Lyons here. I think I know what paint scheme he might be running here. He showed me earlier on in the season. He is running, it looks like, yep, he's got the El Toro Loco paint scheme on there. He proposed a monster truck night for the Xfinity Series. I don't think it got a lot of traction, but he had a lot of fun putting this one together.
That's actually a pretty cool looking scheme. Yeah, these guys are all stacked up right now, getting it really close here, really tight for this restart. Pace car is ducked onto pit lane. We're about to send him green flag racing once again.
Mark Whitley still at the head of this field after getting the lead from his teammate, pulls it into the start zone and takes off once again as we're green at Dover.
Yeah, great start there by Whitley. Hal out there is able to keep that second position, tuck in behind. Really strong coming around the corner here. Maybe battling for the lead here. Looking to the inside. Not enough of a run. We'll tuck in behind.
Yep, tucking in behind, backing off the corner a little bit, watching Whitley's line, taking a little more of a narrower entry as we got one trying to go around the outside just behind him. Jonathan Cofield and Lucas Lyons battling for fourth.
Yeah, Cofield on the outside, Lyons on the inside. Lyons got a little bit of advantage, but he's got McWhorter there in front of him, kind of ruining the momentum, but Lucas Lyons gets it done there, but Cofield taking a quick peek on the inside, nothing doing so far.
Yep, Cofield tucks in 17 to the fourth spot, and he's looking for more, trying to get to the back bumper of the 72 of McWhorter.
Yeah, Lucas Lyons now doing that tire shuffle that we saw Wesley Burke doing it early in the race. I don't know if that's you might want to save some tires there, Lucas, but showing that he's fast. Oh, we got cars just behind him. Almost a close call back there. I believe that was a 9 car of Stephen Davis. Almost gets into the wall there.
09 as Stephen Davis is able to check it up and be able to keep it in it as the 72 looks to the inside of the 05 into the entrance of 1. Rolls that bottom there. Lucas Lyons going to try and take a look on the 05 again. Howell's on the back bumper of the 72, has to back off because he's given up the third spot.
I actually like the way Howell is driving this car, not putting too much pressure on his tires, racing smart. Well, once somebody got position on him, he just let him go. But he is going to have his hands full right now with the 17 car. Lucas Lyons is very aggressive out there. Cofield just behind Lucas Lyons. So Lucas Lyons in this sandwich right now, running that 17 car super strong.
Yep, 05 checking up a little bit for the entrance of that turn as we get a look at the front end of that El Toro Loco machine. Let's hope he doesn't bust that ring off when he tries to get past the 05.
Yeah, that's a Pearson you don't want removed, I guess. To go down the backstretch here, Lucas Lyons taking a little peek to the inside, but it looks like he's content with falling in line, and maybe he was listening to the broadcast and trying to save some tires because he's going to need that because we still have 43 laps or so to go.
If there's one thing Lucas Lyons doesn't want to do right now, it is save. He's trying to go as hard as he can every second that he is on track, trying to get those positions. And it's gotten him into some hot water before, but we'll see how it plays out for him tonight.
Yeah, and I feel like the car ahead of him there that we're looking at right now, the 05, Howell, he's doing a good job of managing those tires right now, but I think he's playing defense with Lucas Lyons back there, making sure that Lucas can't get the run as we're watching a battle for the lead right now. The 72 of Joseph McWhorter working on the 77 of Whitley.
Yep, 72 had a little bit of a run trying to figure out where his teammate is going to go. The 05 makes a look to the inside of the 72. McWhorter pushes up the track, and he is almost going to make contact with the wall. 05 side by side, and Jonathan Cofield trying to move on the 17.
Yeah, Howell's going to get this position made. He's going to overtake second, and now that's going to throw McWhorter back in third. Lucas Lyons now under pressure. He's got Cofield down on the inside. that opened up the door for Cofield to get by Lucas Lyons, and it looks like Cofield has almost got him clear, but he's got that car in front. He does clear and slide up in front of him, but Lucas is going to take another look on the inside.
Howell threw McWhorter to the wolves right there. Cofield and the Lions were on his back bumper, fighting for position like he wasn't even there. They're side by side right now. Cofield able to clear for fourth as we got it all straightened back out.
Yeah, so now our top four, Whitley, Howell, McWhorter, and Cofield, got single file along with Lucas Lyons and Stephen Davis. Stephen Davis, we haven't talked too much about this stint, but Stephen Davis hanging back there in that sixth spot, nice and quiet, watching this battle just ahead of him. So he might be doing the right thing back there, maybe saving.
Yep, just sitting in that catbird seat watching, waiting for the 53, the 17 to make mistakes and one by one start picking them off to get those points. Oh.
It seems like every time I mention a driver like that, they seem to have a love interest with the wall. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of close calls as we're looking at McWhorter back there running in third. Looked like he was going to make an attempt there, but didn't do it. But he is under threat with Cofield now. Cofield is a super strong driver, three-time winner in this series so far, and we are under caution.
Under caution once again tonight as we're looking at the 12 of Claire Sisk and the 18 of Colton Sisk. Both of those cars looking pretty torn up. Teammates, family. I think they might have gotten into it with each other here as Claire Sisk took pits.
Going back to take a look here at the replay, you see, a hard slam against the wall there, and just the other Sisk has nowhere to go. Just gets into the back, or gets woed up.
It was the 43 of Brock Price. Got caught up behind the 12 there, made the heavy contact. But what's more is there's another development. I don't mean to take away the air from this one, but I think we might have lost Wesley Burke too.
Oh, that's big news. That's your pick of the night. We're looking at the replay here. Brock Price here, he had that hood up incident earlier, and yeah, lots of damage, and he has used that quick repair, so that's going to be a tough break for Brock Price. So a lot of damage on that car.
Darren Price able to save a nasty spin, or save from having a nasty spin just behind him too. Price going to have a little bit of nose damage. Claire Sisk taking that 12 car down to the pits, as well as everybody else got pit stops.
Yeah, here's where you might see some strategy play out with two tires. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be brave enough. I personally wouldn't go the two-tire route, but I'm sure there's going to be some people that attempt it.
We're going to watch the exit of the pit. We're going to watch the exit of the pits here. Whitley away. Oh, that was close. I think Whitley might have had it on the exit there with Howell, and I think they are going to give it to him there. It looked close.
Yeah, and it looks like Barrett Morton stayed out, currently leading this race. So Barrett Morton out front of the leaders that came all to pit lane. You can see there that 9 car Barrett Morton who stayed out. I don't know if that was just a lead out or we're going to see him on pit lane, but this is another one of those scary situations. You're going to have all the leaders, it looks like, going to restart with the Barrett Morton out there on those older tires. And that always makes things interesting with all these freshies just behind him.
With the fresh tires, I'd imagine it's going to be a little bit of a concern. What I'm concerned about now, Barrett Morton was in that wreck. He was the one that ended up causing that one after the heavy contact with the wall that pulled all 4 of his tires off the ground. He is on 20-lap-old tires as of right now. That's not terrible, but it's still going to be a lot less grip than the guys that are going to be running behind him.
I can tell you, Jacob, that's absolutely terrible here at Dover. Those 20 laps, you're going to see that instantly. He's going straight to the back probably. I imagine within 5 laps, he'll be struggling to hang on to the 20th position. So we'll have to wait and see. You could be right, but my experience here at Dover is you are going to get freight trained.
Yep, he's going to need a caution, and let's hope for his sake that he doesn't cause it this time.
Well, he's got Whitley on the outside, so Barrett Morton's going to lead him to the green flag mark. Whitley on his outside in second. Peyton Howell there in third. Peyton Howell is the one that's probably sweating bullets right now because he knows that Barrett Morton is out there on that old tires, maybe even a damaged car, and he's going to have to be very careful and tiptoe around that car and hang on to that top third position.
Yes, indeed. We're getting toward crunch time. A little over 30 laps to go. Barrett Morton going to be leading the field into the restart zone as we round our way through turn 4. He gasses it up on the line on the restart zone, and we are back green at Dover.
Does a good job. I was kind of worried that he might spin the tires on that restart, but even that they're that old. But now you can see, Howell coming down on the inside. They touch. Howell going to make short work of him if he can. Oh, they touch again. Oh, they're just battling side by side, door handle to door handle, and that cost Howell big time.
Morton shoved him out, and we got massive contact. 09 getting up, caught up. Both of those hitting the outside wall. Yellow, massive crash on the front stretch as we exit turn 4.
Oh, man, this is exactly what I was afraid of with that 9 car starting up there on the old tires. That something like this might happen, and Bontrager involved. Yeah, lots of damaged race cars out there tonight.
Yes, indeed. Logan Sturgeon in that. We're going to take another look at this right now. 05 of Howell pushes his way to the inside because Morton left it there. Maybe took a little too much, as I think Morton might not have taken too much interest in having that contact, and it just spiraled from there.
Yeah,
a lot of good cars torn up in this one.
About 10 cars involved in that. So a lot of them still have their quick repairs left because we haven't had any major stuff, but we're still looking at the replay here. These cars trying to get going there again, and some of them are obviously going to lose a lap just trying to get it going. Big problems out there for Bontrager. That was my pick of the night. So our picks aren't doing so well tonight, Jacob.
No, they are not. And it looks like Bontrager, Charles Abert, Logan Sturgeon, the 06 of Tyler Rice caught up in that. That's Brandon Wallace as well. The 57, I believe that's Cody Turner, stopped right there. Getting going as we're seeing on the replay now. And just, it looks like a lot of cars from about 6th on back got tore up in this one.
Well, that's really going to change things up. So, Mark Whitley is going to restart this thing on the pole. Barrett Morton on his outside. So Barrett Morton now will start on the outside, and I'm sure there's a lot of drivers going to be happy to see him start on the outside rather than on the inside. Joseph McWhorter will be down on the inside in 3rd position, though, and Jonathan Cofield on his outside in 4th. Duncan Faw, a new player into this now with that accident. So Duncan Faw in the 61 car will start in 5th with Judson Curtis starting in 6th.
Yep, Logan Sturgeon able to hold on to P7 for that one. Tyler Rice, George Jewell, and Charles Ebert. Everybody regrouped and getting ready to restack from that one. It looks like a lot of minor damage and just spins happened as a result of that incident.
Well, reflecting on that incident, it was unfortunate. I don't blame the 9 car for being there. He's out there trying, hanging on to the position, doing what he's doing. And I did mention that Howell was going to have to work around him very gingerly, and kind of didn't. Howell wanted to get by him in a hurry and kind of force the issue, and that ended up costing big time loss for Howell. Is he's going to start. Geez, where is he going to restart this race? I'm looking for him on the standings.
Peyton Howell is in 23rd.
Yeah, so that was a big, and then he also cost the 9 car some big damage too. So yeah, that's one of the things where you got to be patient. When you got one of those cars on old tires, you have to be patient. It's frustrating, and I've been there before, but sometimes you just got to say, well, I'm just going to have to maybe lose some positions and take my time getting around this car.
It is a give and take game when it comes to getting positions like that, and I think Barrett Morton might not be too inclined to give this up anytime soon. Pace car is in. Mark Whitley once again leading the field into the restart zone as we are going back green once again at Dover.
Yeah, Whitley gets a great start on that. He's going to take his teammate McWhorter right with him, and we can see Barrett Morton slip back into that 3rd spot. We'll see how well Barrett Morton can do on these old tires. He's got Cofield coming up on the outside. Cofield probably dip down. Nope, not quite there yet. After this corner, I imagine that 9 is actually holding on pretty good. I expect it to fall back a little bit further than it would, but he's doing a good job so far.
As this run goes on, we might see that start to happen a little more as the 53 at Jonathan Cofield starts to get up closer to the bumper of that 9 machine. Duncan Faw waiting to see if another incident like how it happened before happens again, as we are back under caution once again.
Well, when it rains, it pours. Go back and there's the car, Tyler Rice, currently running in 23rd in the 06 car. Lots of damage to that Ford Mustang.
Tyler Rice, one of our guys on the cutoff, trying to get some points in for tonight. He tries to make the entry into the corner, loses it, makes a little bit of contact with the 36 of George Jewell, and gets nailed by the 16 of Jamie Lipke trying to check up for it.
Yeah, we ride on board with him right now. He's on the outside here. The car just gets loose. You can see him counter steering there. Nothing doing, and then the car on the inside gets into him, just sends him up into the wall, and there you can see Limke getting into him. So tough break for both those drivers.
Heavy contact and a little bit of points implication as a result of this one, as we're gonna have about 25 laps to go when we go back green.
Yeah, we're getting down to a shootout. So it was nice and green at the start of this thing, but now that the pay window's open, Barrett Morton ducking down to pit lane. So Barrett Morton hung on to that for as long as he could, but he's going to go down and get some tires on that car and give up that third position.
Yep, he's going to put some fresh shoes on everybody that took tires on that last, on the last full pit cycle. Going on about 9 laps, so he's going to try and bank to have a little more rubber here at the end.
Yeah, we'll see how this works out for Barrett and where he comes out in the end when this is all said and done. But definitely, we've got 23 cars on the lead lap, and he's going to be down there in that 20th or beyond situation. So a lot of cars to make up after getting these tires on.
Yep, indeed, a lot of cars opting to take tires on that one. Just a few either pulling in to get those new shoes on or make it so that they've got a little bit more leverage here toward the end with the front runners still sitting where they are.
Well, speaking of front runners, like I said, we got some new guys up here. Duncan Fall, I mentioned on the last restart. Duncan Fall is going to be starting this thing in the 4th position, Judson Curtis. So some new names up here in the top 5. Actually, Stefan Purcell is actually running in 6th, another driver in the 92 car we haven't talked about at all tonight, I believe. And so it's great seeing some new names up here, but at the expense of some unfortunate, unforced errors for some of our drivers.
Yes, indeed. Another few good names that we want to take a look at in the top 10. Wyatt Dooling in the 51 hasn't been up front all evening, and he's put himself in a position to get some good points. George Jewell, the guy on the cut line, having a really good day, being involved in a few of those incidents, but he's able to battle back, get up there either via attrition or just making some good decisions on track. Chuck Feltz, we saw him destroyed on the backstretch. He has made his way back up to P11.
Yeah, great run for him, getting back up there and getting back in this thing. Well, Mark Whitley is going to take us to the green flag. He's going to have Joseph McWhorter on his outside, but interestingly enough, he's going to have Cofield down on the inside. Jonathan Cofield is going to start on the inside just behind Mark Whitley, so that might shuffle McWhorter out to be able to keep up with his teammate there here on the restart. But then Duncan Faw out there on the outside is also hungry for a win. So we'll see what these drivers can bring as we're about to go green flag racing once again.
Yes, indeed. Mark Whitley again leading the field through the exit of turn 4. Pace car in the pit lane. We wrap back around to the restart zone. Whitley goes as we go back green at Dover.
Yeah, he tries to take Cofield with him. Now Cofield's down on the inside of McWhorter. Cofield would certainly like to clear this car by the exit, but doesn't look like he's going to do it. 72 battling back hard on the outside. They're going to go side by side down the backstretch. This is the battle for second place.
Almost dead even, these two pushing into the corner. Cofield getting a little loose, backing it off a little bit. McWhorter's going to have some momentum as they exit back onto the front stretch.
Yeah, McWhorter really driving the heck out of that car. Cofield wants that position, but he knows he can't drive it that hard. We've seen a lot of accidents here with that inside car trying to push too hard. Oh, McWhorter almost gets into the wall there. Had to check up. That's going to allow Cofield that position.
Cofield's going to take P2. Duncan Fall looking for P3 as we got another yellow here at Dover.
I think that was Daniel Parks in the 71 car. Yes, Daniel Parks there. Not sure what happened. We'll go back and take a look here. Doesn't look like there's too much damage there. It looks like there's some damage on the back end. Taking a look at the replay here, see what happened.
Yep, he's in a pack right now. Looks like he's got the 44 of Gary Wright, the 26 of Logan Sturgeon. Oh, he just pushes up the corner into the 44, up the track, couldn't get a hold of it, hits the 7 of Charles Aber, right in front of the 04 of Wesley Burke, who's currently sitting about 5 laps down. It's unfortunate that he pushed up like that. Just it was all downhill from there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was describing there with Cofield and McWhorter. Our two leaders or our two second-place battles is that you push too hard when you're down on the bottom. It's very easy to get on that inside car. You got to be very careful. Still looking at this replay here. So damages almost all 4 corners on that car, but I think the car's still safe to race. So he's got that car back out on the track there. Going to take it on to pit lane and maybe get some fenders beat out on that thing.
Already taken his fast repair he has, so he is going to be down trying to fix some of that damage to get it back ship shape.
Well, when we restart this thing, Jacob, we're going to have about 19 laps to go, so I think we're down truly to a shootout here at Dover. But my question is cautions have been breeding cautions at this point. We seem to be having a hard time getting much more than 3 laps in. So, you know, I hope these guys can get it together and we can race this last 20 laps or so really solidly and see who's got the better car out there. And it will be interesting to see how hard these guys are going to push it with 19 to go.
Yep, McWhorter going to be lining up on the inside for this restart. More than likely behind his teammate, as Cofield's going to be taking that outside. I think McWhorter's going to want to force the issue to the inside just like Cofield did.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's exactly where McWhorter wants to be at this point, is behind his teammate on that inside line. And so Cofield's going to have to come up with a different strategy. He's also going to have to fend off people like Duncan Faw and Judson Curtis, who haven't got a win yet this season, but they're back there and they're in this thing.
Yep, they're fighting for everything they can right now. I believe they are currently fairly good on points, trying to get enough of a cushion into the end of this one. You still got to make both this one and the next race, as we got 1 lap to go under yellow here. Something we haven't really considered. Barrett Morton is going to be rolling off 14th after taking tires on that last stop that he made. If we do have a few more cautions and he's able to use that fresh rubber to get 1, 2, 3 cars per yellow, he might be back up into this one too, and he might be a problem for our leaders.
He very well could be, and that's a good point. But like you said, you're going to have to depend on cautions, and I never want to be in a situation where I'm dependent on cautions. Hopefully these guys have got the jitters out of their system here, but it's going to be interesting to see now that we are in the closing laps how hard these leaders are going to push each other. We watch them been pretty generous with each other, but there's a couple guys back there that are very hungry. I also see Justin Curtis back there currently warming up the tires, running in 5th. We'll see how aggressive this start is.
Yes, indeed. Mark Whitley in the most familiar position you've seen him all race, leading the field back to green. Pace car is back in the pit lane, and he is in the restart zone. Gas it up. We're back green at Dover once again.
Yeah, both him and McWhorter clear Jonathan Cofield. Jonathan Cofield will drop back into 3rd. And so the battle is behind these top 3. So they're side by side, 29 and 61. Duncan Faw and Justin Curtis side by side going down the backstretch. Got Lucas Lyons just behind them trying to eye a position, trying to see where he can get around. But Lucas is under threat now. Peyton Howell on his outside.
Peyton Howell trying to get back to the front after that collision with Barrett Morton. Gets the spot over the 17, rolling that outside hard, trying to get back to the 29 of Judson Curtis.
Yeah, that 05 car is driving it. That's Peyton Howell driving it like he stole it. Just drilling into the outside of this corner. We're looking right now at the back of the 29 car, looking at Peyton Howell through his windshield here, trying to get around as quickly as he can. He knows the laps are ticking away and doesn't want to waste too much time. We know he's fast, but one of the things that you don't want to do is wear out those tires trying to get around these guys. He's got to run down the inside. We'll see. We're back under caution.
Yes, indeed we are. And I think that might have been the 57 of Cody Turner having an issue on the backstretch entering turn 3.
Going back to take a look at the incident here. See him coming around the corner. Looks like he clipped the wall a little bit, maybe. Hard to tell from this angle here, but going down the inside just loses the rear, and that could have been some net code. see Jamie Lipke gets into him as he's just trying to correct that car, but couldn't tell if that was netcode. We're taking another look here.
Yep, we're on board with the 26 of Logan Sturgeon. That was the last car at the scene. On board with the Big Fish barbecue car. Closes up on the 57 as we get to, we're going to be going onto the front stretch, and Logan's going to make a move to the inside. I think the 57 checked up a little bit after the wall contact there. Oh no, yeah, that was total netcode there. And it looked like he had it saved, but there was a lot more netcode getting in close with the 16 of Lipke there as well.
Yeah, so, interesting development as we're watching the replay here. Another car involved there.
Stephen Davis.
Yeah, I didn't even see that incident happen on the track. Stephen Davis, big hit. He tows that thing to pit lane. So I think that was
Aaron's Dream Machine. He had front end damage. He got lost in the rear end. Stephen Davis out of this one. Aaron's Dream Machine turning into a nightmare for him tonight. A few incidents involved as we got more cars on pit road.
Yeah, our second place, Joseph McWhorter, went on to pit road. I saw him duck off. Was currently running in the second place. Him and Cofield both headed down to pit lane. Now you see the race off pit lane. They're going to start in, it looks like, about the 13th position. So they gave up a lot of track position for those new tires back there. So we'll have to see how that plays out for these guys.
And that last group of cars that I mentioned before, Barrett Morton's rolling off P8 now.
Well, again, here we go. So now we've got, now we've really got the tire strategy out here. We got some, Joseph McWhorter is going to be the first car with the freshest tires back there, is going to restart this thing in 13th position. Once we get these cars, we'll see if any of our other leaders head pit lane this time by. It doesn't look like it. Some lap cars are going to get their service done, but that's a lot of positions to make up, and these guys are going to have to be really aggressive. We're going to have about 13 laps to go when we take the green flag.
Yep, tires are as follows. Mark Whitley, 21 laps on his tires. He's the furthest up with that. Peyton Howell's on 17-lap-old tires. Barrett Morton is going to be rolling off with 12-lap-old tires, and Joseph McWhorter back in 13th. Mired in traffic is the one that's going to be on the freshest here tonight.
Well, what you can consider, though, is all those drivers you read out with laps on their tires, you can cut that in half because we've ran so many laps under caution. So 20 laps is probably only 10 laps for some of these drivers. So there's still going to be some tread, so to speak, on these tires. But definitely McWhorter is going to have a bit of an advantage on the fresh ones, but he's got a lot of cars to come through.
Yep. Doesn't matter if you're going 180 miles an hour or the pace speed. Laps are laps, and you're wearing down that rubber no matter how fast you're going around here. As Mark Whitley does indeed know. He's going to opt for the outside on this restart. Nope, we're still... Yep, he's going to opt for the outside on this restart over Faw as the pace car ducks into the pit lane once again. Mark Whitley leading the field back to the restart zone, and we are going to go back green at Dover as he almost turns himself off the nose of the 61.
Yeah, I think he spun those tires. 61 gets into the back of him. That's going to slow him up, and that's going to allow Peyton Howell to get to the inside. Now, Peyton Howell back up to second after that incident about 20 laps ago sent him to the back of the field. He's now in second place, now looking at the leader.
This is that speed that he showed getting the pole earlier on tonight. Faw tucking in back in third, Purcell in fourth, Brandon Wallace and George Jewell fighting for fifth.
Yeah, what a great battle. Some new drivers up front. Duncan Faw running in that third position. He's in that green car just behind this group of two here as we hop on board here with Duncan Faw. Looking at Peyton Howell, or I'm sorry, we're looking at the 77. Peyton Howell looking at Mark Whitley for the lead, seeing if he can get this done as they go down the front stretch. Oh, and Howell into the wall.
Little bit of wall contact. He keeps it straight, tries to tuck it back in with the 77, rolls it a little deeper into the exit of the corner, trying to get some momentum. The 77 loose on exit might make up for that mistake.
Yeah, pushing it hard, and you see the 77 really backed up this corner. Didn't want to push it that hard, it looks like. That allowed Howell right to the back bumper. They're going to cross the start-finish line. No real advantage for Howell at this point. Looks like we're back under caution.
Once again, we are under caution, and it is the 75 of Chuck Feltz once again making contact with that inside wall. We'll take another look at what happened, but this one is going to go 10 to go under caution. This is 75 of Chuck Feltz on the backstretch here. He's got the 44 to his inside, pushes up the track a little bit, and he just loses the back end off of it. Gets it woed up. He doesn't make a lot of contact, but that's still going to put him back a little bit.
Oh boy, so you aren't kidding there, Jacob. So Barrett Morton has moved himself up to the 7th place. So what you had mentioned is actually happening with these caution flags. It's just moving up, moving up. McWhorter up a few spots. Currently running there at 9th. Weiland dueling in 8th. So these guys are starting to make their way back up front here, but they still got some guys to get around, some super fast guys. Another driver we haven't talked about tonight is the 92, Stefan Purcell. Started in the 32nd position. I believe he's our biggest mover of the night. Started almost dead last on the field, is currently running in 4th.
I don't think I've heard his name before. I think he might be a recent addition, but if he's up here fighting for the win with the guys that have been dominant all season, sign me up.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. He's back there in that yellow car just behind the 61. There we go. We see that yellow car there on the outside. So yeah, we haven't talked about him tonight, but up, what is that, 29 positions on the night so far. So able to, we weren't talking about him during any accidents that I can recall. So kept that car clean all night long, and maybe he's got something there that we haven't been paying attention to there, Jacob.
Yep, it looks like he's going for a bit of a Ganassi throwback. I can very, very fondly recall the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya back in the COT era, having that bright yellow juicy fruit on that car, and it was very easily identifiable, and this is no different. I don't think I see a lot of other bright yellow cars around Goat Locker.
No, I'm one of the only other drivers that drives a yellow car. It's kind of one of my favorite cars, or colors, I should say. So if I'm not on the track, I guess there are very few yellow cars out there. But yeah, pretty cool paint scheme. Like you said, a nice little throwback. Just behind them, we also got the High Rock 99, Brandon Wallace. Haven't talked about him too much tonight, but started in 7th. He's up a couple spots. He's just behind this 92 car. You can see him creep into the picture there. He's also having a solid night. He's up there. He could be challenging for a win. We're going to have, looks like 7 to go when we restart this thing. I imagine the lights will go out atop the pace car when they cross the start-finish line.
Yep, everybody going to be lining up 2 by 2 once again here tonight. Mark Whitley going to lead the field off the restart into the restart zone. Duncan Faw is going to be tucked up behind him. Purcell's going to be on the outside behind Howell. I think we might see Howell make another move like he did on Barrett Morton into turn 1 to try and get the upper hand on Whitley.
Yeah, I think, with as many laps that are left, 6 laps to go when they cross the line or take the green flag, he's going to have to be very aggressive here. This is truly a shootout. Tires don't matter. There's no sense in saving them now. He's got to be very, very aggressive, but he's also got to mind his P's and Q's back there, because he's got a couple of drivers, Duncan Faw back there and Stefan Purcell, that are going to be looking at this battle shape up too, and maybe can sneak one out.
Yes, indeed. And no matter who you are up at the front here, a win will lock you in if you're eligible for the championship, and we don't got a lot of races left to do that. Mark Whitley, once again, leading the field out of turn 4 into the restart zone. He gets another awesome jump on the restart as we are back green at Dover, and it looks like Howell is side by side with him.
Yeah, Howell on the outside got a great start. Really good start. Howell on the outside got a clear advantage coming out at turn 2 here. Howell's got the advantage, clips the wall. That's going to warm up a little bit, and that's going to allow that 77. No, the 77 tucks in behind.
77 going to run behind the 05. First time he's been up front since taking the lead, or since taking the green flag. 77 going to try and save this one back. The 05 is leading the field. Once again, we are under caution. Massive wreck.
It's our second big one. I see Jamie Limpke there, the 51. Wyatt Dooling's involved in this. So quite a few drivers.
McWhorter back there on the fresh tires. We're seeing it right now. Wyatt Dooling was also one of those cars that was back there. Looks like he just makes a little bit of contact with the wall. Clips Lucas Lyons. The 06 wasn't able to get woed up in time. Bontrager. Oh, a lot of contact. A lot of cars going really fast into that one still. We see Darren Price sliding in, making a good avoid of that. Doesn't even tap the wall there. The 44 Gary Wright was involved, and we are under caution once again. I think this one's going to put us into overtime.
Well, the self-cleaning track couldn't clean itself fast enough this time. We're taking another look here. See him just slam into the wall. Just everybody behind him with nowhere to go. Just close your eyes and pray at this point. You can't get the car checked up here at Dover, and it's very hard to see out the top of the car through the windshield. Sometimes an accident happening in the corner is very difficult to see.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cars in this field have not taken their fast repair, and I think that number is going to change before we end this caution.
Well, we only got 2 green-white checkers attempts, so this is going to be the first of 2. So at least we got that in the bank. We can depend on that a little bit, Jacob, but we'll have to see. But definitely the elbows are going to be up for this one. So Peyton Howell, very aggressive on that start, did get that position on the outside. Looked super strong. It looked like he was actually pulling on Mark Whitley, and now he's got the advantage on this restart. So Whitley will start on the outside. It'll be very curious if Whitley can kind of have that same kind of aggressive start. But we watched last time on that restart where Whitley was on the outside. He actually spun those tires and got into the inside car. So Whitley's going to have to be careful on this restart.
Yep, a lot of drivers very hungry, very impatient, trying to get to the end of this one as fast as they can. And sometimes slow and steady is probably going to end up winning this race. So we are under caution once again. Well, before we run out of time here, I think I want to give a shout out to another one of our sponsors, and that is going to be, that's going to be Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They're the title sponsor of the Fall Series and a very large partner of GLR, as per GLR going to a lot of the car shows and a lot of the functions that they have. They're always a big hit. Lincoln Tech, put your potential to work.
Well, the lights are out atop the pace car once again. Peyton Howell started this race on the pole, is going to restart this thing from the top spot. He's going to have Mark Whitley on the outside. So Peyton Howell had that incident about halfway through this race with Barrett Morton. Fell back to outside the top 20, finds himself back in the lead with the green-white checker. Looks super strong, but can Mark Whitley get a decent restart? Or maybe one of our newcomers or a new winner, Duncan Faw or Stefan Purcell, maybe squeak one out tonight. Brandon Wallace in this mix too. He's currently in 5th.
Joseph McWhorter on the freshest tires in the field is up to the 8th position. To his inside is Barrett Morton on the second freshest run that we've got going on right now. Pace car is off. Howell once again leads the field into the restart zone. Back green at Dover as he gets a good shot off the start.
Yeah, Whitley couldn't keep up on that outside. He's going to tuck in behind. Whitley's going to have to make a charge here. We got just 2 laps to go. Just behind him, there's a battle for 3rd. That gets sorted out. You can see Duncan Faw back there in the 99 of Brandon Wallace.
Yep, Brandon Wallace, having to check up the 72 of McWhorter, trying to get by on those fresh tires. Makes contact with the 99. White flag in the air. Howell makes it through past the checkers, and we got a massive wreck on the front stretch.
This race is official, though, so they'll race back to the flag. This is going to lock it in. This should give Peyton Howell the win here as they're coming back to the start-finish line. Peyton Howell started this thing on the pole, had a mid-race incident, worked his way back, coming around the corner for the final time. Will win this thing here at Dover.
New face, new name, new winner. Peyton Howell, in I believe his first start in the Invets Xfinity Series, takes it home from pole to flag at Dover.
What a great run. I'm sure it's going to be exciting talking to him. The celebration is going to be extra special after working his way up from the back. You know, he had quite a challenge getting through McWhorter, Whitley, Duncan Faw, all those drivers. He's able to come out ahead of this thing. We're going to go back and take a look at this. So Lucas Lyons, all kinds of crazy there in that 17 car.
Watching the entrance at turn 3 here, everybody bombing it into the corner, trying to get that position. And it looks like he comes up, the 36 looked like he pushed down the track a little bit. And the 17 washed back up into the racing line. Nowhere for anybody behind to go as everybody is torn up.
Still looking at this thing. So Lucas Lyons not afraid to take it, but it just gets down there, just nowhere to go. You just get swapped. You don't even see it coming. You hear that contact with that car, the 36 making contact with the wall, and you hear it when you're driving, and you just hope that it's not going to come down on you. But of course it does, and it collects up to 34 as well. So yeah, well, that was the white flag lap. So these guys were trying to get everything they could and get this done, but I guess they wanted to be on TV for that last lap.
Yes, indeed. And we are going to have a lengthy conversation with our winner, Peyton Howell, after we give our unofficial results. We're going to talk to the rest of the podium right after this.
Superior quality, ultimate protection, and the highest level of craftsmanship. We make our gloves for the hard worker that wakes up every morning and gives 110%. You deserve the highest quality protective gear that's going to work for you day in, day out. We know it can be tough deciding what companies to trust for your hard-earned money. It's all in our name. We've mastered our craft to help you master yours. We make our gloves rugged, durable, and designed for you. Whatever the job is, we have you covered. We are your glove station.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. Invets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. Invets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about Invets, visit us at invets.org today.
We are back live at the Monster Mile with your unofficial results. What an exciting finish. Peyton Howell, newcomer to the series, newcomer to the league, I believe, gets his first win out here. Exciting for him. Mark Whitley will finish in second. Duncan Faw punches his ticket for the top third position. Stephen Purcell will finish in fourth. Brandon Wallace brings home a top 5. Joseph McWhorter will finish in sixth with Barrett Morton in seventh. Judson Curtis will finish eighth. Jonathan Cofield ninth, and Tyler Rice wraps out your top 10. And in 11th will be Logan Sturgeon, with Chuck Feltz in the 12th position. Daniel Parks will finish in 13th. Gary Wright 14th. Charles Abert 15th. Kyle Deering 16th. George Jewell in 17th. And then the next cars are all lapped down. Lucas Lyons in 18th. Casey Jones 19th. Dave Calvert will finish in the 20th position.
Craig Bontrager finishes 21st. Wesley Berg finishes 22nd. Colton Sisk 23rd. Jamie Libke 24th, Kevin Calkins in the 11, 27th, Kevin Price 28th, Darren Price 29th, Wyatt Dooling in 30th, Armando Melgoza in the 29th position, Stephen Davis in 30th, Cody Turner 31st, Claire Sisk 32nd, Brock Price 33rd, and Aaron Yancey did not take the green flag. Well, he's only been here less than a week, but he's already making waves. Peyton Howell. This is Jake Lanky in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
So we don't know a lot about you, and I'm inclined to ask: do you do this a lot? Do you race often when it comes to iRacing?
Uh,
Because
yes,
it,
about every day.
yep, it shows you put it on pole for the beginning. It looked like you were falling back a little bit, trying to save for the long run. Put together your race for me.
Well, we qualified on pole. I was honestly surprised because I hadn't ran any laps. Got lucky with that. And then the start of the race, I just tried to save, and we were about a tenth and a half, 2 tenths faster than Mark there at the end of that first run before that caution come out. Um, I feel like I'd saved enough tire. I could go about 70 laps before pitting there, which would have gave us a huge advantage on that second run. Um, but after that, it was just trying to control my own race. Ended up getting back up to second, and then that guy stayed out. One of the guys stayed out on a restart, and I wrecked myself. I was so embarrassed about that, and surprised we didn't get more damage than we did, and just had to drive from I think it was like 22nd with 25 to go, and just hoped that I could pick the lane or get in the right lane and make moves, and we finally got back up there. And me and Mark have been racing together for a while now. We raced in a league before, um, and raced for a title there. And so I knew I could race him clean. He'd race me clean, and yeah, put on a pretty good finish, I feel like.
Yes, indeed. And if you've seen Mark Whitley before, you know how good of a racer he is. He's been one of the dominant forces in this series and in the league over the past year. Do you think you're going to make yourself a name stay here as well?
I'm gonna try. Mark is very tough to beat. He took the GLSR championship from me at Phoenix. I'd say about 3 months ago, and so I know how hard he is to beat. And some of these guys that are in here, I've seen them before, and it'll be tough to win. It definitely will. I'm trying to finish out the season this time and then run full time next season.
Yes, sir. It'll be good to have a new name and a fast name up at the front as well. Who do you have to thank for putting you on the top step of the podium?
First of all, Wyatt Dolan for inviting me. I'm thankful that I can run under the 4 Wad Motorsports banner. With Cody and Duncan and Frederick and all of them. And I got to thank Unrivaled Innovations, Icon Apparel, Florida State Builders, Celsius, HelloFresh, Nerditudes, Race Stop Suicide, Dark Fusions, and Wyatt once again for just inviting me to the league. Y'all for putting on a broadcast. I'll have to go watch it. I've never watched one before. Um, and all the guys that put on this league.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Enjoy the win, and we will see you next week, sir.
Sir, thank you.
All right. Well, I guess we should talk to our second place finisher here. Mark Whitley, great job getting that second place finish, but you're still hunting for that first win here in the Xfinity series. So talk me through your race tonight.
Yeah, I got a halfway decent qualifying lap. I didn't hit the lap I wanted, but I still got, we qualified up front. Me and Joe both were kind of running hard enough just to stay where we were. And then the guys behind us started catching us. I tried a different run. I got the lead. And then that long green flag run came to an end. And I thought everything was going good. Well, all are going our way. And I just figured, I think the last time we pitted when it was like 25, 30 to go or something like that, I was like, I probably won't pit anymore the whole race because there's so many cars on the lead lap, and I figured cautions were about to start coming out, and I was right. And unfortunately, I think the armor fell apart. The race kind of went away from us when I think it was like Joe and a few other ones pitted like that. Put Peyton up there, I think P3 or 4. I think he had technically a couple laps fresher tires because he got in that wreck. And then when he got up beside me on that restart, he just timed it like perfectly, and he was able to hang on the right rear, and I got tight, and he was able to keep the throttle down and just drove around me like I was sitting still. So it was a hell of a job by him getting that restart and just being able to get me tight. And after that, I was driving the wheels off of it, trying to do anything, but he was just, I think I was driving it so hard, trying to keep it up there a lot, 10 laps. So my tires weren't there, and he was able to just kind of cruise. So, kind of frustrating to be one short again. I feel like, just haven't had the luck or just had stuff go the wrong way whenever we've had a good night. So P2's good. Just, still looking for that win, like you said.
Yeah, well, you're still looking for that win. You're still currently sitting in third points. I just updated the points here. You're like within 18 points of the lead in points. You haven't had that win, as you said, but you're doing what you need to do to be in this chase. So it looks like you'll be able to at least point your way in, unless, of course, you win next week. But we'll have to wait and see how that one shakes out. I don't know with the way your season's going that it's gonna. I'm sure you want that win, but if you don't get it, I think you're locked in.
Yeah, it's always good. Consistency is the key for championships, but still, especially a lot of leagues do the playoff system now, so wins are golden. So it's kind of tough
Absolutely.
not having any of those. But Las Vegas next week, track I've been good at sometimes, and sometimes I haven't. Just depends on what they've done lately to change the stuff. So try to go out there, get a win there. If not, just reset for the playoffs. And there's some good tracks there in the playoffs. I think we can win, and just try to be in that championship four.
All right. Well, who do you have to thank for getting you the second place finish here tonight?
And a big shout out Brantley Harpoon Designs, as always, up top the spotter stand for me, keep me informed on what's going on around me. Wouldn't be able to do a lot of stuff I do without his help. He also does all my paint jobs. He does awesome work. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. Uh, Other sponsor, Jawa.gg. It looks like y'all are having some trading paints this year, so you weren't able to see this beautiful Harpoon Design Jawa JG Camaro. But if you're looking for a upgraded for your new sim racing upgrade or a whole new system, they got you covered. They're the #1 online gaming marketplace. Check them out, Jawa.gg, and then all the league sponsors here: Jam Printing and Promotions, V Speed, Alexander PCs, like all the Lincoln Tech, Glove Station. They all the guys that put this league on. It's fun running here. A little frustrating sometimes when you can't quite get to victory lane, but fun league to run in. And all the fans tuning in the broadcast at home. I know some of my teammates that aren't in here, Vector, Christian, Daryl, all of them tune in. I appreciate all of them. So hopefully next week we can get one better.
All right. Thanks, Mark. We'll look forward to seeing you race next week.
All right, guys.
All right. That was Mark Whitley. Well, I guess you got our third place finisher there, Jacob.
Yes, indeed, I do. Duncan Faw. This is Jake Linky in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
So we saw you running. You were mid pack throughout a majority of this race. Started 11th. You're running top 10 for a lot of this, and the chips just fell where they may. Take us through it.
Yeah, the whole race for me was really just trying to be conservative and race my own race. I'm not too good at this track, so it really all just fell into place for me. Had the right strategy. Thanks to Peyton Howell, I was kind of just following him, and he has given me some tips. So really thanks to him.
Good to see you up here getting some good points. It looks like from what we're seeing right now, you may be just locked in on points. You were 6th in points coming in because of the wins, and you got any plans going forward for the playoff?
Try to just keep the momentum up, really. I've missed the last 2 weeks of that took into the drop weeks. Uh, there were a couple races too where I feel like I could be pretty competitive at. So I missed those, but really I just gotta keep up the momentum, carry this third place on to the next.
Yes, sir. And who do you have to thank for putting you on the podium?
First of all, want to thank the Goat Locker admins and you broadcasters for putting this on. Thanks to my teams Four Wide and Cooking Cars Racing, and Freddie for helping me get into this league and with the teams. The sponsors Dark Fusions, Gaming Chef, and Wild Things Media.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your time. Congrats on the podium. We'll see you at Vegas.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, that was an exciting race here at Dover. Next week, we're going to do some gambling here. It's going to be our final race before the chase. Going to do it at Las Vegas. Hopefully, these guys will put on a heck of a show. They've done it all season. A little dirty here at the end of this one, though.
Yes, indeed. We want to give a special thanks to Tech, Save 22, and the Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs for helping us put this together. Well, we're getting ready to get out of here tonight. I'm Jacob Blanke for Ken Huber, Eddie Smith, and everybody else at V-Speed. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everyone.